I've played Clash of Clans ever since it first came out in 2012. Admittedly, I have taken a few breaks over the years, ranging from a few weeks to a couple of years. Despite all of that though, I find myself coming back to the game time and time again. If you clicked on this video, you probably relate to this feeling and you might even be active in the Clash of Clans community today. Every person who plays Clash of Clans has at one point or another dreamed of a day when they would be fully maxed out with no upgrades left to complete. I was no different, and when I've been active on the game throughout its 12-year history, I've tried my best to always keep my builders busy, often buying the gold pass as well to speed things up a bit without forking out hundreds of dollars like a lot of players and content creators seem to do. Wanting to max out your account is natural, as upgrading your troops and buildings is a huge core mechanic of the game, and you're encouraged to progress through the various town hall levels as you play. One thing nobody thinks about though is why they play the game in the first place. If you really stop to think of what you would actually do if you were to max out your base, what would it be? Well, when I thought about it, I figured I'd finally be able to trophy push and maybe try and reach some of the top spots on the leaderboard, since I would have a fighting chance now that I'm maxed out. Other than that though, what really is there to do when you're maxed out? It's this question that has led many players, myself included, to realize that as cliche as it sounds, it is the journey that makes the game so fun. As much as we all like to fantasize about being maxed out and not having to worry about upgrades anymore, the reality is that upgrading your buildings and unlocking new content has always been what makes the game fun. Supercell knows this, and it's why they keep moving the metaphorical goalpost further and further away by adding new town halls to the game every year or two that include tons of new upgrades, even more expensive walls, and a lot of other expensive new features. If the game truly was a lot of fun to play for the long term as a maxed out player, Supercell would simply leave the game as is, or perhaps just release some quality of life updates every once in a while. The last 2 years have been the most active years of my Clash of Clans career, as I started out playing the game again in 2022 as a fresh Town Hall 14, and today I'm essentially a fully maxed out Town Hall 16. I say essentially because I do have a couple of pet upgrades left to do, as well as a few Dark Elixir upgrades in my lab, but all of my buildings, including heroes, walls, defenses, and everything else, are completely maxed out. What starts to happen when you get to this level of gameplay is that your storages fill up one last time, and as you go to dump the loot into some of your walls, you realize there's nothing left to spend gold or elixir on. This removes another core mechanic of the game, which is farming. My farming method of choice used to be sneaky goblins with jump spells to get them over the walls. For any of you who haven't tried this, I really would recommend giving it a go, since it usually only takes one sneaky goblin per collector and 2 for any storage. Ever since the addition of hero equipment, I now use what some might consider a more popular attack strategy with root riders to try and 3-star people in the Upper Titans League. The reason I stay in the Upper Titans League is to simply maximize my loot bonus, specifically to get more ores for upgrading hero equipment, since that's one of the last things I have left. All that to say, when you max out your base, you not only lose the ability to upgrade buildings since there aren't any upgrades available, but you can't even collect loot or fill your season bank either, since your storages will quickly fill up. This essentially just leaves clan wars and trophy pushing as your only 2 options as far as ways to play the game. Realistically, even clan wars might lose their spark for you when you realize that the loot you gain from wars has no place to go, and you often won't be able to collect it anyway since your storages are already full. So I guess the only real option moving forward is to trophy push, but I imagine that will get stale after a while as well when I reach about as high of a rank as I think I can with my skill level. Now, the point of this video isn't to bash on Supercell, bash on Clash of Clans, or even discourage anyone from continuing to play the game. The real point that I wanted to make in this video was that Clash of Clans is that game that you pick up and get really invested in for a few months or a year or 2 at a time, and then you take a break from it only to pick it up again years later. I am here to say that this isn't a problem, and it's actually by design. The game is meant to be played this way if your goal is to play the game over the long term and continue to have fun and have something to work towards. So don't worry if you're still at Town Hall 13 and you feel like you're falling behind. Try new attack strategies, try completing achievements in the game, even try starting a clan of your own if you haven't already. There's a popular saying that goes, "Variety is the spice of life." This quote applies to almost everything in life, and Clash of Clans, or even video games in general, are no different. I'll be the first to admit that I personally struggle with this. I tend to be pretty close-minded when it comes to trying new things in the gaming world, whether it be with Clash of Clans or just games in general. Although I've been playing video games for over 20 years now, I can probably count on one hand how many video games I've ever truly gotten invested in and put a lot of hours into. This is something I'm trying to improve upon, and I'm excited for the next wave of games that'll come out and send shockwaves through the gaming scene like Minecraft, Clash of Clans, Fortnite, and many others have over the years. Despite the downfalls we've discussed in this video, I'll continue to play Clash of Clans most likely well into the future, as like I said, I recognize that this game is meant to be played over the long term. I know this video is a bit different from the normal style of content that I upload, but it was a topic that I think needs to be discussed more, and I wanted to explore a bit of a different style. Let me know what you guys think of this video format in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.